Katie? Can you get down on the floor and crawl to me, huh? Yeah, you want to go to Mommy?
I want you to crawl.
Come here, Katie. There goes Mommy. Come get Mommy. Get Mommy.
Come here. Come here.
Up.
Well, I wish this was on my tape. I feel bad wasting up y'all's tape on this. Well,
Okay. It's eating a helicopter. Oh my. Katie, come here. Come here, Katie. Yeah, come here, Katie. Look at that beautiful face. December 24th, and Ed and Ellen and Ned and Katie Tibbetts are over, and we exchanged
and you
Christmas
put your
gifts.
drink in here? Huh? I'll show you like this. After you get your drink, and you pour your drink into here.
Hi, Michelle. What did you get? Michelle?
Okay, now put it all
Michelle.
back
Look at me, Michelle. What did you get? Oh, there goes Katie again.
There you go. Wait, Matthew. Wait till he gets his top on. Got it on nice and tight? Oh, I think you do. Very good.
What you got, Katie?
Thank you, Matthew.
Now give me that, Maggie.
Now I gotta screw this up. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Gotta stand up on the couch. Sit down. Sit down.
Let's go find poor Chris. He got sick yesterday. How are you feeling, Chris? What did you get from Ed and Ellen? Are you gonna have fun with it? Good. Are you gonna feel better in the morning so you can see what Santa brought you? I hope so. We might have to lay you on the couch, huh? Well, I hope you feel better. This is Christmas Eve. There's Ed. Say hello, Ed. No, ho 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 and Merry Christmas.
Ho ho ho. Green giant. I love cameras. See what I did to your new floor? Get a close up of that.
Uh-oh. Thanks, Ed. What are y'all doing, tasting our fruit?
Yes. Having Bill's across the street, Joe. Whoever's name is.
Our tree from Outback, grapefruit and navel, and also the neighbor's tree that hangs over the fence.
Oh, well, are y'all good boys?
We've been very good boys.
So Santa's gonna come see you tomorrow?
Yes.
We
Hopefully.
hope so.
Don't you need some tape, Ryan? Get some tape. No, Matthew.
No, give it to me now.
No, don't cut.
Go.
Don't cut.
I'm gonna cut my finger off. No.
Michelle, stop fighting with him. No, Matthew.
Matthew, you're tearing it. Stop it. Stop it. Matthew, I have it done already. Matthew, do you want to help me? You gotta help me by doing this. See, it's already done. Matthew, I had tape in my finger. Now I'm stuck to the paper. What? That's tape. It's right here.
I thought you were going to tape that present.
Ryan, there's tape right there in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I wanted that all the time. I didn't know I was going to get. I was wanted to get one of them.
Daddy, could you open the 7-Up container?
Mm-hmm.
It's not on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
If in a nest. Very stocky.
Hollering for a radio.
Hey,
Under there.
if my pussy, which is my pussy?
That one right there.
Where?
That snowman one.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
This is. Hey, Ghostbuster gone.
Mm-hmm.
I dreamed about a monster in a bed and I had a Ghostbuster gone. I've been dreaming. Then I woke
Hey, what's that? Shut. Wait a minute. Can you? No, let's give Matthew one, Mama.
It's those. Santa knows I'm a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
Santa knows I'm a Ghostbuster.
Ghostbuster.
No.
What was that?
Water.
I mean, no.
Water or
I got a Ghostbuster gun.
how'd that happen?
Open it.
I was sitting down and I opened this box and it was moving.
You're gonna have to pay attention.
You know Santa's coming. No, we're going to go to Mammoth and open. Look, what do you got? Look. You could baby it. You could doctor a baby. You could doctor a baby, Matthew. Want me to open it? Yeah. Let's do it. I open mine. Yeah. Hey. Santa knows me want that. Here it is. Ghostbuster.
Lion wrap this too.
Then you also got to send this one back and get a different one.
What?
Because that's the one I got last year.
I'm busting them.
Oh yeah. Like Ned's. That's neat. That's neat.
Look at him.
Batman.
Let me see.
See, it's Batman.
Yeah, Batman. If you have a broken cord that
Let me see. This is to Chris.
it could go straight to now where's the
I think Michelle's got most of yours over there. Matthew's the present. Here we go.
me too, I need a pen.
Well, this is yours.
Oh, that could have this on my clothes. I could have this on my clothes. Here it goes. Mommy, don't throw this out in the trash. I'm gonna be I have a Ghostbuster thing there.
Okay, we'll put your gun in there so it doesn't get lost.
It was me another present. Look!
We've got one right here.
Is this
There's
mine?
some right here, Ryan.
Is that mine too?
Chris.
My dog. Matthew, is that yours too?
Who's this? It
It's his.
Matthews?
No, but
Turkey's over there.
look. Look at this.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Look, Chris.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty.
Look. Yeah. Chris.
Look up
Hey,
there. He's
Wawa.
getting some more stuff.
Hey, Wawa.
Where is Chris?
Chris.
Is he sick, Cindy?
No, he's not sick.
How about that one?
No, that one's not yours. Over in there's some of yours.
Ooh, boy. Matthew, open me my. Ow. Ow.
Are you sure all those are Chris's?
Ow. Yeah, it's
Batman. Make sure all these are yours. This one don't have a tag on it.
That's the one that I gave Mommy. Hey, it's dinosaur game.
Thank you, Mommy.
Look,
Welcome, sweetheart.
There's Daddy.
That's all I get? That one present? That?
That little thing.
Make it bigger.
look. Yeah.
It's
Oh, here's
huge.
something else.
Another
Matthew
big one.
got a one.
Oh, cool, Ryan, look.
Yeah.
Of the Ninja. It's the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Look, Mommy.
Yeah,
It's Ninja Turtles, Ryan. See, look, here's
Mystery
there's the
puzzle.
Ninja Turtles.
Look, a dinosaur puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
Over
Ryan.
here where your stuff is.
Look, Leonardo.
Right here. All these is a bunch of things.
Ow.
Now this is Ryan's.
So these are mine.
Ninja Turtles.
Matthew, look.
We got knives.
That's mine. Yeah. But that's Ninja Turtles.
Ryan, here's yours. I don't have them.
No,
the table, Ryan. So you don't lose it all.
Yeah, Mommy.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan.
I'm looking, Matthew.
Hello, mine.
Yeah, I'm looking for yours.
We have any batteries for this?
I don't know.
Here's to Daddy. We'll get. Don't worry about it. Put it up. And quit playing with it like that.
Mine.
Michelle, I have to find some over there for you.
Another one. Look,
Yeah.
it's what's his name? His name is. Look, Michelle. You know our Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones. There's Casey Jones.
Chris, push that chair in, please. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, honey.
Here, Ryan. Ryan.
Look, a Ninja Turtle watch.
Me. Ooh, a watch with Ninja Turtles and a G.I. Joe hat.
G.I. Joe hat.
Look, I got another one of them houses.
That's yours.
Mine.
No, this is not yours.
I'm looking, Matthew.
Yeah, look.
Look, she gave you one.
Here.
Just snip it on, and when you want it off,
And
you see the green thing.
Okay.
Pull it out. Some tape
Chris.
for my radio.
Ooh.
What are they? Pieces on the block. And
Look.
Bobby Brown. Don't be cruel, Matthew. Don't be cruel. Go hard, that's two, that's some.
There's Matthew.
Look what I got.
What? Oh, neat.
I got, Mommy.
Look what you got. Okay.
Don't did. Mommy did.
Oh, yeah.
So up
That's from me, Mom, and Peepaw now. All these I've been through, but there's plenty more back there. You have to start over there. Where's your
And then where is the airplane?
It is?
Yeah.
It's a jumbo jet. Look on the other side.
People.
What?
Thank you, me on people. Look, you don't put it together.
Who's that
You
from?
just put the wings together.
Mom. Put batteries
What do you
in it,
say?
it lights up, it goes all
Thank
around.
you.
Yeah. And no, this lights up and goes.
Wow.
It's already
Top.
down.
Mhm.
Down.
Where's that?
I don't have a plug for it.
Yeah.
No.
I need to have batteries in here.
Driving. That's for me.
Drives on the floor.
What you got, Matthew?
It is for water. Mommy,
What?
this present's supporting this big box.
See what Chris got me.
Mommy, did you open your bag yet?
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a caveman with the...
Where's that from?
Is yours, Matthew?
Is this
No.
mine? Is
Let
this
me
mine?
see. Whose was this? Yep,
Yours.
it's from Michelle.
To Dad from
Thank you,
Michelle.
Thank
See
you,
what
Michelle.
Michelle bought for me.
Thank you.
Hey. Fancy. Pajamas. Thanks, Michelle.
Another one.
Oh, wow.
I see this.
They're nice.
No.
You know what this is? It's a fireman hat. He goes,
Woo, woo.
I thought it'd be great when Daddy sleeping.
That's from Aunt Kathy.
What?
That fire hat.
What I get from Daddy? See, look.
Whose is that?
Matthew's.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. You show that game.
That's
Maybe he
okay.
doesn't know how to turn it on yet.
This is from Ryan. That's a
Put
book.
it on your head. See, look.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good. Stories about Florida. Thank you.
Matthew's a fireman.
Thank you, Ryan.
See, now open this one right there. You know this box? See, look. Michelle, where's the one that I gave you? He found it. He's at it.
I'm gonna show how this goes.
Here, Matthew. Here's your other present.
Look. It goes on the floor.
And then you still got
Wait, let me see.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I think mine is happy back there.
Wait, that's doing right. It's doing right.
Shirt from Cindy. What did Mama get me? Mama got me
It's doing right.
hand oil.
It's going.
Put it down. Now watch. Passengers are getting off. Move your hand, Ryan, before you break it.
Look, he's letting everybody out.
Wow.
And it's getting back to me.
Get your hands off.
Out it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Curtis.
Taxiing for takeoff.
I don't.
Wait, Ryan, put it down. It's not through.
Yes, yes. Ready, go, take off. Take off on 51.
Thank you, Mommy.
Going for a tour
You
dog.
got me a present? Oh, you got me stereo headphones.
What was in this one? Oh, drawings. What is this one from? Let me see.
Not stereo headphones. It's
From Mom and Dad.
shorts.
What do I
Yay.
do about the
Great.
questions over there?
I don't know you went up there.
I didn't.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Thank you.
There goes opening the door. No.
Oh,
You
put
go.
under that thing.
To Daddy from Matthew. I got far side.
The best ladies in there. Like, it's in the window. Now she's gone.
Are you done?
Chris, you need to get all your paper up.
Maybe. I don't know yet. Here you go, Matthew.
Oh,
Here
now.
I go.
Here it goes. No, we're all done. Nope, Daddy, it's one of those things that you see on TV.
Here goes.
Super
We'll take
from
off.
Cindy.
There's 3 presents under there, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We'll take
Chris,
off.
I don't know if that
No,
paper.
it's going to take off. Mommy's right behind you.
Chris, now.
It's standing up. It's standing up.
Oh, you got 2 presents.
What surprise.
nothing left there. Except the door comes down.
See? Beautiful glass. Here. That'll be a Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Where'd you get that?
Look, and now
Jordan
it's
Marsh.
open.
That's all the color they had.
Jordan Marsh.
They're nice. Thank you.
It's the only
Good.
color they had.
Look, they almost got it down, but
Blue.
it went out of gas. Got that thing down. Let's see it over there.
Ryan.
That's good.
I think I do. Cool, Michelle.
Sorry, Ryan.
Kirk and
This is
Cindy.
Christmas
Give it
night
to
from
Daddy. Give it
89.
to Daddy.
Yeah, that's what I
That Ormer family gathering.
I take you.
Oh, yeah, I can burn that.
I got my under the cabinet pen opener. Oh, thank you.
Haha.
Dad's gonna burn our gifts.
Kelly,
Art of the Western world.
Wow.
Thank you, Mom.
A fancy
Art
pen
of the
opener.
Western
Michelle,
I knew art.
grandfather, grandmother,
I thought it was
Of the Western world.
Ryan,
Right here.
Chris,
Hey, Sam, I got a word
and
around.
Daddy.
Good work, didn't it?
No.
Thank you.
How many did you get?
This is it.
Good.
More earrings.
Hey, if
You're welcome.
what is this?
Oh, boy, my
That
You
is
had to pack up your books.
Barbershop aftershave. It's just a body splash on and aftershave.
How's he gonna splash that on his buddy?
Well, after a shower.
I thought maybe it was windshield
That or Ospo Rust Protector.
Thank you. Those are beautiful.
Sure that doesn't go in your windshield wiper.
You could. It's got alcohol in it. It just keep the bugs down.
Ryan and Matthew, beautiful earrings.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this goes to
And I needed them.
Matthew. This is yours. Here, Matthew. You can open that up.
You and,
That one's
it's
for
you and
you.
Daddy.
Give it to Daddy.
Oh.
Look at my battery.
Yeah, you got a package on the road.
You'll never guess what that is.
So how does my battery tester work?
Wow. Did they light up? It works.
It works.
Chewing gum.
See your battery tester.
Are you giving it to me?
Sugarless.
What do you own?
Daddy.
No.
I'm putting both of them.
I disappointed.
Daddy.
I
Give Daddy to him.
No, it's okay. I'll try and clean out of it.
Matthew, what do you have?
Some good.
Sure it
Matthew?
does.
Like I don't believe in an afterlife, because I wonder if they catch you plenty. Thank you, Kirk and Cindy.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
My mom cleaned out her library.
Hey, Tara, Cal said,
works.
you said that you couldn't do
Garrison
it.
Keeler, good. Thank you.
And guess
I
Michelle
want to
did
read
it.
him.
Yeah, you'll like that.
Thank you.
You'll want to keep that.
Yeah.
Because,
I wanted to.
in fact, I want to get another one. Oh, I bet I forgot. I don't know whether I ever got all those rest or not.
Matthew, you got yours.
Yeah, well, I can get rid of my packed stuff now.
Thank you, Michelle. This is beautiful.
Susan wants
Geraniums, which I love.
Come on, Susan.
Flea market
All right.
trader, and that's good.
We got that magic baby going here.
That's good. I like that, Mom.
I thought you would.
Bric-a-brac.
Matthew. Matthew.
Yesterday and Russell Wright.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, dinosaurs.
And then next
Hey, Matthew, what you got?
Work with the kids on.
Yeah.
Then I have the one on the
Look at
culture.
the size.
What you got, Matthew? You got paper?
Good for kids.
Oh, a present, yes.
Every now and then, talk about it. And I also have the test for cultural literacy, which I think is kind of like.
It looks like you're hinting at work, doesn't it? Yeah, but I couldn't get Kara or Kelly to do it. Well,
It's like
Michelle's the one that had to do it.
Good thing you got all these kids in.
You think it is?
Oh,
If you didn't, you wouldn't have got his slippers.
Out of 15 tries, I ought to get a pair of slippers.
Got a pair of slippers out of some of this.
Yeah, it is.
New word here.
So
Matthew?
And I wouldn't tear them off, I just turn it. Hang it and turn it.
No, Matthew. That's me.
See, it
Those are yours.
it can't help but
That's me.
oh, I wanted
That's
this.
it, Ryan. Hush. Ryan. Ryan.
Well, I wanted after you
Yeah,
built it.
Fulcrum's written, he has the number 1 and number 2 on the best seller list most of the time now.
Boy, I bet, wouldn't you like to have one of those?
Now what?
Massager.
Mommy,
For aches and pains.
Yes, I
She doesn't
see
come
that.
Oh!
It's a puppet.
Sorry.
Well,
Women not included.
Hey, did Matthew open up these golf club covers?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
a
his.
doggy.
That's his doggy puppet.
I see, okay.
And then when he grows up, he can cover up his golf
That's
club
only a
with it.
golf club cover? That's what they are.
Puppet.
You need to get that away from that.
I said a
What?
It's all the big green
Get
one.
away from the mirror, Chris.
Oh, vitamin E, I better take a dose. That's, oh boy, this is my. Yeah, that's a new book that's got all about Aesop's fables, all of the animals in that book.
Chris,
Yeah,
put
new
anything in the
colors.
bag
Oh,
like that?
nice.
Is that the second time this morning that I said something about that? Huh? How about loading it up, right?
Nail polish. Now I can paint my favorite. That's great. Avon. Now I expect I'll have to hold it, huh?
yeah. Oh, I never get somebody that looks like that to hold.
It works. So, add another one, right? Now we're up to 4?
4. I made out pretty good on shorts. I needed
Oh,
them.
you're always complaining.
I always need shorts.
Yeah, by next week this time, they'll all have holes in them. Rips.
Maybe give
you another 2 weeks, because you won't be able to wear them immediately.
I'm gonna take care of it.
Is that the waist?
Yeah,
These were all the fancy ones too,
I know.
the cheapo trash
Yeah.
bottles.
No, I can tell.
It's the 90 model.
Those will be taken care of. My old ones will get worn out.
I think there's something wrong somewhere. How come they won't all go in there?
Thanks.
You're welcome. Boy, man, he's busy with them. I thought they were pretty.
I do
They
too.
would give you a little contrast in color.
They're different.
Okay, it's now time for Christmas with the Allreds, 1989.
Here's the seat right here for her. Here's the seat for Peepaw. Or Meemaw. Peepaw, you got more, but we usually give you it's a big box. Yeah, your collection.
Thank you.
Hey, you better be careful. I want to open up one set of panties today. You got told off.
You got told off?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Does it record?
Yep,
You're hearing what I'm saying too?
yep,
Uh-oh.
It's a modern miracle.
yeah.
That's for me.
I sure am proud of this thing. I am really proud of that.
I can't see you, Mom.
Let's see the box. Let's see who's that from. Who, Chris? Oh, that's right.
Ah,
You can.
from Ryan and Matthew.
I gave it to you. What is it? I got you. I gave you.
Ah,
Is this from Chris? No, for me.
Oh,
Ryan,
God.
thank you.
Steve ain't got
Are
nothing
you
on
guys
me.
saying right?
Look here.
Let me see,
Steve
people.
ain't got nothing.
I gave you that.
We left Christmas, we left turkey cooking and came home. But we miss Kelly anyway, I said. They're having
Oh, look at that.
Canadian dressing and all, and I figured since there's cooking it that way, they didn't need me, so
Hey, I didn't like
I
that.
up.
favorite stuff.
Stuff that I can
Watch out,
People,
Michelle.
there's something behind you.
Guess what? I got a number 12 picture of Diane and them. The one we got on our
This is
Christmas
yours, people.
card.
Thanks, Kurt.
This is for you.
I
Show
said,
how bad
thanks,
you're
Kurt.
moving around.
Oh, wait, open this first. That's for me.
Now, wait a minute. I won't watch him up in this big one.
Well, I can't tape anybody because everybody keeps walking in front of the camera.
Hello?
If I
Guess what's in the big one, Peepaw?
Oh, thank you.
Now open that box.
Mother, catch that before Ryan totally destroys it.
Did you say
Alabama Roll Tide.
Did you say this is from you, Chris?
No.
No, that's
It's
for
right.
us. This is from me.
Where in the world did you find that?
What?
My daddy ordered
There's
them.
a tag
You
on
got,
this.
you can order the school.
Kurt,
Alabama
Cindy.
Roll Tide.
Huh?
Kurt
Kirk and
It
Cindy.
didn't have a tag. Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Thank you.
That's just,
You're
that's just
welcome.
the right size school.
Oh, Bill.
Look here.
Alabama Roll
I
No.
can make David. I can make David
Look how cute.
jealous, man.
I don't know what that means, school night.
What about this one?
Oh, I never went to
This
school.
too.
Well,
Who's
is that the
this too?
Can I wait till
official night
next
for
year?
the school?
Peepaw has to guess it.
Bill,
This?
Yep.
It's
Crutches.
full.
Nope.
Bill, Cindy.
What?
Want that showing you back?
Yeah.
That pretty?
It's one of my favorite ones.
Mommy knows that.
There's the hook on the back.
Okay,
I-
Peepaw, guess.
This
I can guess now
Okay, what?
because of the square.
It's good at 4th of July.
what goes over on this side?
It's a Roman candle.
That's right.
It's a baby buggy.
Yeah, baby
That's it.
bumps.
Baby buggy.
For you
Baby
carry
buddy.
them all around
It's a 4-foot level.
You think so?
Put out there.
4 foot.
Is that box 4 foot tall?
Cute one.
Trying to beat Ryan, that's impossible, you know. Ah,
I wouldn't have ever guessed it if it hadn't been for the
how did you
square.
discover it?
Did he guess in?
Oh, but there's
Yep.
something else in there.
Because of the square.
Isn't there? Yeah. Something else down in here.
What else was on your list, Peepaw?
Look there.
I got everything I wanted, and I was disappointed. I was disappointed out China because I told him to tell you.
See, they'd already bought
Word
for
gets
you.
around.
Huh?
They'd already bought for you.
Word gets around.
But
Thank you, thank
this
you,
is,
thank you.
Welcome, you're welcome.
Now, I had one more. Who was it from?
Me. Somebody opened it.
And he don't know how to use it.
What you do is you line that bubble up in the center.
This
Tell
is
them
what
it's
we
level
bought it
enough.
for, Peepaw. We got everybody's face.
Just refer to that.
Thank you. You know how mine
Okay,
is.
it's down there, yeah. Then you'll know.
They
See,
wore
it's
out,
half,
wasn't
Peepaw.
Put that out by
I
your
needed them, didn't I?
Well, Peepaw, are you happy?
I sure am. I sure am. This, I tell you what,
Where you walking
It's the
over?
only thing I'm gonna have to go back now and get to laying rock.
Let's see what.
Uh-oh.
What
I
did
have to
I
head
have?
back to
We can
Alabama.
tell Mark we got what you wanted, huh?
Okay, here.
He
Yeah.
blew it.
Well,
What's
Lynn got me what I wanted too.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, she's good at picking out them shirts and pants. She keeps me well dressed.
Can I have my knife?
Hey, Matthew, can you say Merry Christmas?
Hand me my knife.
Matthew, say Merry Christmas.
Here, people.
Uh-uh.
One more thing we did.
You're tired from all the excitement, huh?
I could pay it.
I'm missing some of the
And
stuff.
Oh,
Where'd you
Matthew.
lay it?
stockings.
Stockings.
Who is this from?
That's from
Me.
Daddy and Mama.
Chris.
Yeah. Hello.
This is still Christmas Day. This is Christmas Day at the Fetches. Matthew's got a bubble lawnmower from Aunt Donna.
There's the man.
This is Ryan's G.I. Joe he got from his Aunt Donna. Watch it go.
pretty
I'm
good.
putting more bubbles in it.
Boy, they really come up with some stuff. We gotta get going, baby.
No, don't put him in there.
Bye, Mama.
You're not coming over.
No, we can't move now.
Do you love me, Mama?
No.
Can't get out of there. I'm going to spend the night at Marky's house. Come on. Hey, you ordered
There's Mama Ann
Ariana.
and Papa Mars and Mike and Donna and Ron and Chris and Meemaw. Where-
Gizmo's up the tree. Look, there's Gizmo too.
Yeah, there's Gizmo.
There comes this light coming on.
Bitches. Matthew. Matthew. Matthew, what's that? It's cold here in Florida. This is my yard after the freeze. Christmas Day.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
That's my peepaw. Bye, Papa. Peepaw. Bye-bye, Meemaw. Bye-bye. Freeze at 4840 Coconut Drive, Christmas Day. Looks pretty bad. All our beautiful plants are all frozen. Yeah.
Hi. Today is January 14th, 1990, and we're having a barbecue at my house, and all the guys are outside making ice cream. So, Cynthia,
Go outside, I guess.
there's Ed, being the wonderful, gentle self that he is, banging the thing. Oh, and there's Katie Koo and Dave holding Katie. Now, this is the second time he's held her in his life. She's 11 months old, so this is a milestone in his uncling career.
Oh, look, even a hug. Or she's just clinging on.
And there's Kirk in charge of ice cream. I should go see what's happening because obviously something's not properly. There's my mom.
Forget it.
Hi, Mom.
Nancy Yielding. A new gold chain I bought her for Christmas, my sister and I.
Oh.
My rich sister.
And here is my daughter with my shirt on.
Consistency.
That wouldn't fit you anyways. There's Ryan outside playing on, thank you, David. Outside playing on the toy that Nana bought. Ryan, would you please bring in that toy that doesn't belong outside? Thank you. All right, guys. This job needs a woman.
Put some ice on it.
Right.
Yeah, it'll make it melt. It'll make it
Matthew
slushy.
and Ned helping out with the ice cream making.
Not that much.
We just got filled.
Now spin it.
Perfect.
It'll do that. It'll hang up.
Did you guys put more water in it?
It might need some water. Put water in it once.
Matthew and Ned helping. Up, here's Ed making our dinner. Burning them.
Burning them. How dare you do it?
This is the first night.
It'll be all right.
Watch him flip those burgers.
Just when it stops, you just, yeah. Good name on there. It's supposed to stop. Put water in it.
That's your Oscar Mayer Bowman's hot dog.
Uh-huh.
This is my husband.
Gotta pack it in. What do you do with that, Matthew? Eat it. Yeah, be real careful.
You know something like that,
You did a perfect amount. He's just like me, he knows how to make ice cream. Two rolls. Good, oh good. All went in. That's good.
After work, I watch it after work, 10 night.
Hi, Katie. Chris and Michelle in front of the TV as usual.
My house at its peak of cleanliness.
Yeah, she can't tell and know anybody's been playing over here. Watching Batman.
That is unusual.
Hey, Cindy, why don't you take the whole movie of Batman, then you can watch it.
Hey, good idea.
Let me go.
It's January 14th. Matthew just got his hair fixed by Michelle. Doesn't he look so pretty?
Matthew said.
Look, Matthew. He could be my little girl. He's got little pigtails. Let me see how pretty, Matthew. Matthew, you look so pretty.
Okay, now comes another
He's through, Michelle.
That's
Wait, there's a bug in your hair. I gotta get it out.
Ryan, do you think Daddy's hair, Matthew's haircut's pretty? Pigtails? Don't do that. That's what he does every night in front of the TV.
Sam, I wish I had your pumpkins and your bejewels.
Matthew, now you have a ponytail. Matthew, look at Mama. You're so pretty.
Don't do it to me.
You're so pretty. Blow me a kiss, Matthew. Come on, blow me a kiss. Mwah. Okay, I'll turn it off. You want me to turn it off? Okay. Say bye-bye to the camera.
Bye-bye, Kim.
Okay, it's January 14th, and here comes Ryan. Come here, Ryan, so I can see you. Ryan has his beautiful haircut. His hair done up in pigtails. But if he doesn't stay still, I can't see him. Say something, little girl, Ryan. I can't see you up here.
I can't see your eye. Where's that eye?
Mew. Y'all move back so I can see, please. I can't see you. Get back by Ryan. I guess I did say this was January 14th, 1990. Ryan just had his hair fixed by Michelle.
No, by Chris.
Oh, by Chris. Matthew, do you like Ryan's haircut? His hair? Stop. Go around, Ryan, so I can see it front and back. Oh, how beautiful. Ryan's a beautiful little girl now. I wanted another little girl. Oh, yes, Matthew, you're beautiful, too. Can y'all hug and kiss? Nah, you don't have to do that. Matthew, do you want a drink?
Yeah.
What you want?
I want some Spider D.
Chocolate chalk milk?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get you some. And they're off and running. It's all gone? What'd you eat all gone? You ate the chocolate chalk all gone?
and there should be accountability. It's against the law. I'm a policeman. I enforce the law. I think we need a massive change in public attitudes that experimenting with drugs is dangerous for your health. I think it should be emphasized as a public health problem at least as much as a law enforcement and criminal problem.
Let's find out what some of the people in our audience here in New York think about that. You, sir.
I've been kind of curious about the use of alcohol and the abuse of alcohol and the way it's viewed in terms of casual drug use. It seems to me that by far the most dangerous drug in America is alcohol, and I've so far heard absolutely nothing with all of the programs that you've talked about that addresses the issue of what are you going to do with the casual drunk? Are you in fact going to handle them the same way that you're going to handle the weekend marijuana user?
Judge Walton, take that.
Well, we fought that battle a long time ago, and a decision was made back in the 30s to legalize the use of alcohol. We don't condone the use of alcohol. Obviously, the abuse of alcohol has created substantial havoc in this society, but I don't think we exacerbate the situation by legalizing drugs or not punishing people for engaging in that activity.
Let's go to another gentleman in our audience here.
Yes, hello. My name is Clayton Patterson, and I document things in New York City, and I sometimes get thrown in jail for that. And I just was released from jail. And
Do you
when
use drugs, Mr. Patterson?
No, I don't. And
well, what is your view of the casual drug user?
The one problem is, in just getting out, the jail was absolutely saturated. There was no running water in some cells. There was no toilet paper. There were 3 people in a very small cell. People were sleeping on the floor. The pens were absolutely saturated. They were passing razor blades around that they shouldn't have been doing. And I don't see where they could put in any more people. And I live in a neighborhood that's absolutely saturated with drugs. And so basically what you're doing is you're coming into our neighborhood and picking up all the nobodies on the street to saturate the jails even more than they are. And it would seem that, I guess one of the things in good faith is that I live in the Lower East Side, which is a very heavy drug neighborhood. But we get to see people in higher places, such as Oliver North, and by all appearances, he was very heavily involved in the cocaine trade, and he doesn't go to jail.
That has not been documented at all, Mr. Patterson.
Well, I thought Senator Kerry dealt with that. But
let's ask the judge, if I may, to address your central point, which is the overcrowding of jails. Now, the president's program doesn't call for nearly enough money to really correct that.
Well, I think everybody is suggesting that in order for people to be held accountable, that they have to be prosecuted in the criminal justice system. That, in fact, is a part of the effort, but we have to rely upon employers. We have to rely upon the school system, because those systems can be put in place whereby they make people accountable also. The business community has a significant reason to discourage drug use because they're losing a lot of money. So we're encouraging them to make the user accountable also.
Chief McNamara in San Jose, you've seen a lot of these drug control programs come and go. Is this one going to come and do some good, or is it going to go?
Well, I think we have to avoid the hysteria. We had the reefer madness. We lost a lot of credibility in that area before. I do think testing in the workplace is important. It worked in the armed forces. It certainly should be done for airline pilots, for police officers, for firemen. I think we should try to keep people out of jail, out of the criminal justice system, and try to change their behavior as much as possible through educational, through public health efforts, and perhaps by civil penalties, Chief, such as has been suggested.
Chief, in a word, do you think the president's program will do it?
I think it's a start. I think it's an important start, a new change, something we haven't had before, a national strategy, and I think it's opening a debate on just what we should be doing. I don't think it was the final word, but I think it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Thank you, Chief McNamara, Judge Walton, for joining us tonight. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.
When Primetime Live continues, the Baker case.
I think it's time that the Christians arise and that we stand together, because if Jim falls, he's only going to be the first one.
But first, we'll return to the laboratory to see cocaine at work inside the brain. Primetime Live. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Together winning the world over with the exciting line of 1989 Ford cars. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Kellogg's Muesli cereal, what breakfast was meant to be.
Some food today can be over-processed by chemicals and machines until it is no longer what it was meant to be. That's why we long for good things from the earth, the taste of Kellogg's Mueslix. Wheat and oats tended with care and washed by the summer rain. Fruit and nuts rich and sweet with ripeness. Savor the taste of what breakfast was meant to be. Kellogg's Mueslix.
Objects that become classics of contemporary design not only perform their functions well, they excite the senses, even stir the emotions. A recent example is a piece that's been added to the collections of over 1 million Americans. Ford Taurus, design that has captured the imagination as well as the road.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings during the official Ford clearance.
April in Paris.
He said he'd give me Paris wrapped up in ribbons. But he was young and poor. So we settled for a small cafe and coffee. Coffee so rich, I thought I'd never taste its like again.
Discover the pleasure of rich French roast from Maxwell House. Rich French roast coffee. We can't give you France, but we'll give you the flavor.
Every once in a while, the perfect combination comes along. New minute microwave dishes and your microwave. Just add water and together in one step, they'll make rich, creamy, beautiful side dishes. Favorites like noodles Alfredo or chicken-flavored rice that taste great coming out of your microwave because they're specially made to go in. Quick, easy, delicious new minute microwave dishes from Minute and your microwave. They're made for each other.
The Miami Hurricanes blow into Madison to meet the Wisconsin Badgers. Or Texas A&M tackles Washington on ABC's College Football Saturday.
People magazine says Life Goes On is a warm, delightful, touching family show.
It's a real school again. What if mainstreaming doesn't work this time either?
We'll make it. A show touching on brilliance. Grade A+.
When was the last time I told you how proud I am of you?
Don't miss the special preview of Life Goes On Tuesday.
We're going to go back now to Belmont, Massachusetts and rejoin that experiment, the experiment to see the effects of cocaine on the brain. You can see we're now 16 minutes in. Dr. Lucas, tell us what you're learning at this moment about the effect the cocaine is having on this man's brain.
Well, Diane, as you can see, we've got a very nice response out of this subject. He's reported a very intense cocaine-induced euphoria, and we're seeing lots of activity in the brainwave patterns up here on the monitor. And we can see right here on the bottom, this lot of alpha activity, which is associated with these red and brown colors that you see on your monitor here. Huge increases in activity that were nicely associated with his euphoric state.
I assume, by the way, when you say nicely, that is a generic, neutral, scientific observation.
That's correct, yes.
And you're talking about what you're able to measure and not, of course, making a value judgment here.
That's right, absolutely. What I'd like to do is compare it to his activity that occurred prior to the study. If you see on your left side of your monitor there, mostly the blue activity is indicating very low alpha. So a lot of blue means low alpha. Just regularly pleasant. He's sitting back. He was relaxed.
And by alpha, you mean?
On the right side, yes, on the right side of the monitor that you see here, this is the alpha activity indicated by these reds and brown colors that you see here. Very pronounced, increased response, and very pronounced, intense euphoric. He's feeling extremely good right now, nice and relaxed. This is the typical cocaine high that we usually see.
And by alpha, you're talking about an intense electrical stimulation in the brain.
That's right. We're looking at electrical activity of the brain. The alpha rhythm happens to be one that we normally see, tends to be associated with feeling pleasantly relaxed, free-floating. However, in this case, when the individual has reported a cocaine-induced euphoria, that intense level is so high that we see the corresponding increase in this alpha activity, a very pronounced response.
Let me ask you to compare for us, if you would, the onset time of this euphoria that you see among cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol.
Well, typically the cocaine response will occur around 10 minutes. Marijuana takes a little bit longer to kick in, probably around 15 minutes. And alcohol effects In this particular laboratory setting, it's around 25 minutes, and that's when we'd see those increases in alpha activity.
And the more rapidly it reaches the brain, the more addictive it is?
Well, we have a lot of data to suggest that a drug that changes our behavioral states, that is, takes us from a normal state like you and I are sitting at now to an intense level of euphoria very quickly, makes a bigger impact on the central nervous system, and therefore is attributed as being more reinforcing. And that reinforcement is what may be bringing those individuals back, and it creates that urge, if you will, to take more drug.
We understand the condition the volunteer is in, but I would be interested to know in this condition what he would say, if you'll ask him for us, why he continues to use cocaine since everyone knows how dangerous it is.
Okay, will do. David, Diane Sawyer would like to know why you're using cocaine, and assuming that you realize the dangers of it, why would you continue to use such a drug?
Well, presently, I think I'm contributing to some research that I think is very necessary, not just because of the nature of the drug and the damage it can do to society, but in terms of cerebral functions. Personally, I don't consider myself using cocaine beyond a recreational length, although that may seem a cop-out to many, and maybe it is, or maybe it's a personality flaw. I think it's the fleeting yet abrupt euphoria that you experience, accompanied personally for me is with a little numbness possibly around your head, maybe where these electrodes are and around my neck. But the bad thing about it is how it tends to make you want more. I don't personally feel I'm addicted. I know I'm not. I really don't use cocaine that much or often, but I could see how it is a real problem.
Dr. Lucas, I'm sure if we could have a nickel for everyone who said, I know I'm not addicted, it would be a large sum of money. Let me just ask you before we leave you, aren't you worried about contributing to addiction with some of these volunteers?
No, we're not really worried. We take individuals who use drugs on a casual basis, and in fact, the rate in which we study individuals is pretty much the same rate that they would normally use it. So he's normally in a study here. And in fact, this is excellent. What we're able to do, if you pull over here into this monitor here, you can see the source of the brainwave activity up here on the side here. We're using another computer program that's actually showing us this brainwave activity coming from deep down into the brain structures. So we feel that by talking to our subjects and having them understand the value of the research, that the types of experiences that they might have in a laboratory setting are not the same experiences that they have out on the street. And we give them exit interviews and let them know that this is not the way to go, and we try to let them give them any kind of consult that they might need. But again, we don't use individuals who are at risk for developing the addiction, because they come back and we don't see any increased usage over the time frame that we study them.
All right, Dr. Lucas, we now have with us Dr. Charles Schuster, who is director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, and we want to explore a little more some of the science and what we've learned. What about that? It sort of demystifies the alleged cosmic experience of taking drugs. It's just electrical impulses to the brain. You could just do the same thing with an electrical charge, right?
Well, that's really very true. But I'd like to emphasize something, and that is that Dr. Lucas has shown you, in quotes, the high part of cocaine. But it has a darker side as well. We know on the basis of animal and clinical research that cocaine can produce damage to the heart. It can produce fatal arrhythmias to the heart. It can produce convulsions. And in pregnant women, even single use of cocaine early in pregnancy, perhaps before they know they're pregnant, it can produce damage to the fetus.
What about cocaine and brain damage? We saw the kind of activity going on there. What does it herald about brain damage?
Well, we don't have evidence, clear-cut evidence yet, in the case of humans, that there is brain damage produced by cocaine directly. However, it does cause strokes, that is, bursting of the blood vessels in the brain because of its extreme effects on blood pressure, which are increased by cocaine. Okay. And therefore, it can produce brain damage.
How then does science help the parent who has a kid sitting at home and say, okay, I know about cocaine. Cocaine is terrible for you. But marijuana, nobody died from marijuana. It doesn't hurt your brain. It's no worse than alcohol. How does a scientist help?
Well, our animal research has clearly demonstrated that marijuana at a dose of the equivalent of 2 marijuana cigarettes a day produces damage to a region of the brain called the hippocampus, a very important vital structure in your brain, which is responsible for recent memory and for your ability to process incoming sensory information. This damage is actual cell death in these neurons. So anybody that says that marijuana is harmless clearly is not in possession of the facts.
But you know what a kid's going to say. You used it. You tried it once, and you're all right.
Well, I think what we have to say is, first of all, that the marijuana which most parents tried back in the 1970s was very different than the marijuana that's on the street today. We know from our studies, for example, that the potency of the marijuana was about 0.5%, that is the active ingredient, in 1974. Today, it can be as high as 6%. So we're comparing a drug effect such as near beer to fortified brandy, which is available today. It's a very different experience, and the extent of the effect which the drug can have on the brain is markedly greater today.
And of course, used by kids at a lot younger ages. We thank you,
That's right,
Dr. Charles Schuster, and we thank you, Dr. Lucas, for letting us get a little bit of a window into your research. We appreciate it, Sam.
Thank you.
Well, that's what happens to the brain. When we come back, we want to talk about what happens to cracked babies and to the mothers who give birth to them. And we'll do that in just a moment.
Have you driven a Ford? Now, during the official Ford clearance, get low 2.9% financing or up to $1,000 cash bonus on Ford Ranger. Get 2.9 financing or $1,250 on Bronco 2. Plus, get up to $750 on select F-Series pickups. Combine the cash with option package discounts and save over $2,200 on Ranger, over $3,400 on Bronco 2, and over $3,200 on big pickups. See your dealer for details on all the great values during the official Ford clearance.
The delicious crunch of crackling oat bran has gotten you in trouble again. How do you defend yourself?
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
I don't have to answer that.
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
Well, you're the one holding the box.
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
What's crackling oat bran?
With the irresistibly sweet taste of Kellogg's crackling oat bran, an open box is an empty box.
It's TV's freshest, funniest hour.
Is my hair okay like this?
Roseanne is back.
I guess so. We're only having hamburgers.
That from the people who served up Roseanne.
Even I couldn't resist a sales pitch like that.
Jackie Mason stars with Lynn Redgrave in the premiere of Chicken Soup.
You're very cute for a basketball player.
What a winning combination.
I like you very much.
Why not? I'm a wonderful person.
Hey, look it! They bonded. Isn't that cute?
The season premiere of Roseanne, the premiere of Chicken Soup. It's a whole new picture Tuesday.
She says her husband has been abused.
Jim has been manhandled. He's been strip searched. He's been paraded. He's been treated like a freak at a carnival show.
She's abused her child.
And when my daughter was in her crib and she was hungry and crying, I didn't hear her. Didn't want to hear her. I wanted to just get high.
The Baker Case and Crack Babies, when Primetime Live continues after this from our ABC stations.
At ABC News, we have a singular mission: to report to you what is happening in the world. We take that mission very seriously. You can see it in our faces. ABC News, we're America's choice.
If you've ever played pickup basketball, then it's time to hoop it up in downtown Orlando the weekend of October 6th. The Pizza Hut Pepsi Hoop It Up Basketball Tournament, presented by the Orlando Magic and the Orlando Sentinel, is an outdoor 3-on-3 tournament aimed at people of all heights, ages, and abilities. Channel 9, one of the official sponsors of the event, invites Central Florida to team up for Hoop It Up. For details, call 876-1314.
And now, an Eyewitness News Brief.
Hello, I'm Marla Weech. And I'm Barbara West. Tonight, Orange County commissioners get an earful about a proposed hike in property taxes. We'll have a live report.
Also, supporters of the St. Cloud Cross crowd around city officials tonight saying don't touch that cross in any way, shape, or form.
And where do you go when you're down on your luck? Before you hit the streets, talk to a man who has a knack for helping homeless people.
He's someone you can count on tonight on Channel 9.
When you buy your luxury van from Artie Grindle's Tropic Traveler Vans, you can be sure you're getting the best quality luxury van at the best price. Hundreds in stock. Come see. Artie Grindle's Tropic Traveler Vans, Highway 436, Winter Park. I want to sell you a van.
Channel 9, Central Florida's news leader. From New York, ABC News Primetime Live continues. Once again, Diane Sawyer and Sam Donaldson.
We want to go back now live to that street in the New York area where drug dealing is going on just now. We have a camera hidden on that street, and a retired officer of a Metropolitan Police Department is there. Officer, what are we seeing?
Sam, it's a typical drug location, a crack location within the confines of, you would find this in any major city around the country. And you got people milling about and using crack and buying crack. And that's about it, Sam.
They're lighting up right on the street?
Yeah, right. When you see, if you see the lights go very bright in their hands, that means they're lighting up their crack pipes.
Now, did the police know that this was going on in this location?
Yeah, Sam, they were in and out all night long, Sam. They were, you know, breaking them up. You had a couple of foot cops break them up earlier. You had a few radio cars come by. They were on some radio runs.
Now, what do these guys on the street do when they see a cop coming?
Well, they have some pretty good lookouts, Sam, so they disperse very, very quickly. They dissipate, and then a few minutes later, they'll come right back again, of course.
But clearly they think they can do this with impunity. They don't really think they're going to get busted, do they?
Well, Sam, it comes to a point that not thinking about getting arrested, but a lot of them don't even care if they get locked up. They've been arrested so many darn times, you know, Sam. It means nothing to them going to jail, a lot of them.
Right.
So a 10 or 20 arrests for them this makes no difference.
Thanks very much, officer.
Sure.
A live camera on a street in the New York area where drug deals are going down now and crack is being smoked. Hardcore addicts, Diane.
Yes, and it's one thing to see them on the street. It's another thing to think about the implications, and in particular, the implications to children, to infants who were born to women who have used the drugs, who've used the drugs while pregnant. In fact, not long ago, someone asked the president's drug czar, William Bennett, what his most haunting problem was, what he brooded about the most. He answered with 2 words, crack babies. Our own Jack Smith tells us exactly why.
A crisis in the intensive care nursery at Philadelphia's Einstein Medical Center. A baby's breathing tube is blocked.
I'm not getting any flow in the bag.
Turn the flow over. You have a leak.
Yeah, it's right here. Linda, connect it right here.
Baby Jones was born 3 months premature to a young mother taking crack cocaine.
I'm through.
Okay.
Fetal exposure to cocaine is linked to brain damage, crib death, and developmental retardation. As many as 1 out of every 10 babies born in the U.S. today may be damaged by drugs.
She's doing fine.
And there's another cost, neglect. As the crisis passes, the mother, who's barely seen her child in the 77 days the baby's been here, telephones. First, Dr. Hallam Hurt, the head of neonatology, urges her to come in. Then Nurse Glenna Wallace.
Calm as you want, okay? You don't have to get dressed. I just want you to be here.
But the mother gives excuses.
She's not going to hurt you.
This abandonment of motherhood, this lack of the maternal instinct is new to me. They don't visit as often. Sometimes you just can't find them. You want to tell them that the baby took a turn for the worse. You can't find them.
Those who work in the field, like Philadelphia child welfare official Charles Robb, are baffled.
It's the first time in 18 years where I have seen a population of children be the throwaway children. These children are simply delivered and tossed away.
Everybody, put your hands up.
As it did in most other big cities, crack hit Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, in the mid-1980s. And it's thought 5,000 babies a year are now born to mothers who use cocaine during pregnancy.
But yet you're back over here again, right?
20% of all births in Philadelphia. Never has a drug been abused by such a high proportion of women, and the consequences are frightening. Large numbers of babies are being born to mothers hopelessly addicted to cocaine, impaired and neglected children who may need help for the rest of their lives. Here in Philadelphia, the social service system is already swamped. There are only 4 residential drug treatment centers in Philadelphia for addicted mothers and their children, about 60 beds, far too few for the several thousand women who need them. 20-year-old Tara Lynn is one of the lucky ones who got in. Her son Ryan was born premature because of her crack addiction.
I love this little boy. I couldn't see myself without him. And doing crack, I could have lost him. My water broke a week and a half before I delivered him because I was getting high.
And you just didn't care about anything?
I didn't care. I left the hospital to go cash a check to get high and went back the next day. He was born that night.
Even with treatment, there is still rarely any easy escape. The recidivism rate is 85 to 90%, says Mildred Green, a veteran counselor in the slums of West Philadelphia.
The crack addict is totally absorbed by the drug. It's preferred over eating, sleeping, family, sex. Everything that becomes a part of their daily responsibility, the drug is preferred over.
When it came to cocaine, you know, I would do anything for it, anything.
Consider the story of Michelle, who's been clean for 13 months and has a 4-year-old daughter. 2 years ago, while still addicted to cocaine, Michelle had another little girl, a cocaine baby.
We put her for adoption when she was 2 months old.
But Michelle changed her mind and went to the adoptive couple to get her baby back.
They had offered me money to keep her.
How much?
$5,000.
Did you take it?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure why. You'll do anything, you know, anything it takes, you know. Like people talk about selling, you know, their VCR, their mother's TV. I mean, you know, here I sold my baby, you know, and I got high with the money.
Debbie was Michelle's roommate in treatment, and like Michelle, is a mother and a recovering addict.
Cocaine kicks butt. It takes no names. It doesn't care what race, religion, creed, or sex that you are. It gets you.
And through mothers, it is getting to newborns like little baby Jones.
This population of babies has done nothing. It has all been done to them. These children have not asked to be destroyed by crack. These are the innocent victims. They haven't done anything.
Let us bring you up to date first about baby Jones. The doctors tell us she's now in critical condition, that her kidneys have failed to function. Unless they resume functioning, she will have only 3 or 4 more days to live. So what should be done about the mothers? Well, let us show you what the people who were asked in our poll said they thought should be done. A pregnant woman who uses crack and transmits it to her child should go to jail for child abuse. Well, 82% of the people agree with that proposition. And we're going to introduce you to someone who's trying to do just that. He is State's Attorney Paul Logley, who joins us tonight from Rockford, Illinois, and he wants to prosecute pregnant women who use drugs. Now, let me see if I'm clear on this, Mr. Logley. Do you want to see if they will get treatment first and then prosecute, or prosecute?
We would prefer to work with the mothers. And if we can get them into treatment and restore them to the child and reunite that family, that is preferable. But we believe that there are certain egregious cases that are worthy of prosecution, and we believe that prosecution is a legitimate prosecutorial response.
But what are you going to do with the women you prosecute? You're talking about a huge expense to put these women in jail.
Well, we're not necessarily seeking prison terms. I am proposing that a law be enacted in this state, and I've drafted that would make the prosecution in this type of offense a relatively low-grade felony. It could be probationable. It could also result in a prison term. That's what I'm proposing. I'm not proposing some type of murder sentence.
But do you really think that this is going to deter? And we just saw a woman who said that she sold her baby to get crack. Is it going to deter someone like her?
We have to hope that it will deter. Those persons who are knowledgeable about addiction tell us that if we raise the consequences to a tough enough position, that these persons might be deterred. They might be encouraged to seek the treatment, the help that they need.
Well, let me introduce you to someone here in our audience who is knowledgeable about addiction, Barbara. Barbara gave birth to a baby while she was using crack. The baby tested positive for crack. If you had known that you would be prosecuted, would it have changed anything?
Yes, it would. It would have.
What difference would it have made?
just would have made me, you know, get my life together and everything. But see, you know, I had people that wanted to help me. So in order, you know, for you to help somebody, you got to want to help yourself, you know. And I thank God, first of all, that my son was born with 5% cocaine in him. It's amazing because I smoked with him from ever since I was 3 months all the way until 9.5 months.
But let me ask you, if you had known you were going to be prosecuted, would you ever have gone into any place that you might have been tested?
No, I don't think so.
So the question becomes, Mr. Logley, if women know they're going to be prosecuted, maybe it deters some of them, but for others, they won't get any prenatal care at all.
Well, I suppose that's a possibility, but I think that's to a certain extent as speculative as any theory. I believe that this prosecution, like any other prosecutions, should and will serve as a deterrent. I think that's the whole basis of our criminal justice system.
Let me ask Elena, who's sitting up here. Elena had a baby when she was using heroin, right? And the baby went into seizures after birth. What would have stopped you?
At that point, nothing would have stopped me. Nothing did stop me.
What should be done then? Are you just saying that we have to throw up our hands, give up?
No, I believe that I'm in a drug rehabilitation center right now with my daughter. I believe that the mothers deserve the help because when you're a drug abuser, you don't think about anything else but the drugs. And you don't take anything else into consideration.
I've just got one final question for you, Mr. Logley. Where do you stop if you start down this road? If you prosecute women on drugs, do you prosecute those on alcohol? Those who use cigarettes?
Well, I believe that in my mind and in the legislation that I'm suggesting, the line is clearly drawn at illegal and dangerous drugs. I think what we're seeing is this epidemic of cocaine babies. Yes, alcohol can be just as dangerous to a baby, but alcohol is a legal drug. I'll leave it up to the legislature to cross that line. As a prosecutor, I believe we can safely and constitutionally draw the line at the use of illegal narcotics by pregnant women.
And so do a lot of other people. We thank you, Mr. Logley, for joining us from Rockford. We thank you, Elena and Barbara, as well. What do you think? Is this a brand new America, a brand new punitive mood?
Well, people are upset about drugs. The president certainly has tapped the public mood there, but the president hasn't put any resources behind it to the extent of the problem. President Bush, for next year, the next fiscal year, has earmarked an additional $716 million. Diane, it takes money to build jail cells. It takes money to put people in rehabilitation programs, and he just hasn't got it.
Well, but you got to start someplace. And he is at least doubling the amount going to local law enforcement. And a lot of people would say that's where you have to begin. You've got a short-term problem and a long-term one. And the short-term one is that people are under siege in the streets.
Yeah, but doubling the amount going to local law enforcement now from the federal government means about $3 or $4 more to each community. That's not enough. Let me tell you something about our poll, the ABC News Washington Post poll. 62% agreed with the question that they would be willing to pay more taxes. 67%, I'll get it right. 67% of the public said they'd be willing to pay more taxes to help combat the nation's drug problem. I wish the politicians of this country would say, all right, put up the money and we'll do the job. I think the American public would listen.
But there's a long history of throwing money at problems, as you know, and we all know that it will eventually take an immense amount of money. The question is, do they know yet how to target it accurately?
Well, I just got to tell you, without the money, you can't solve the problems. The old slogan about throwing money won't solve problems is wrong. It does help solve problems. Try to do it without the cash. We're going to have to now end our little discussion on this, because coming up next, we're going to take a look at the latest from Charlotte, North Carolina on the trial of Jim Baker and on his wife, Tammy Faye.
Primetime Live from New York will continue in a moment.
Excuse me, could you put down that spray cleaner and those paper towels, please? Hi, I'm Spiffet's Moist Cleaning Towels, and I've cut the work. down to a wipe.
What about us?
Okay, we've cut the work down to a wipe. Spiffets are tough towels and powerful cleaners all in one. See, I've got glass cleaner inside, so I'm Spiffets for glass. And one towel goes a long way.
How long?
Very long. And there's Spiffets for the bath. Right here. Multi-purpose Spiffets.
Hi, folks.
Spiffets for furniture.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
Spiffet scouring towels. Yo! So give us a try. We've really got our act together.
New Spiffets moist towels. They cut the work down to a wipe.
In 5 distinct personalities.
We're about to prove a point. On the right, a pie wrapped in saran wrap. On the left, Reynolds and Glad. Knowing a bear won't eat what he can't smell, which one holds an odor and freshness better? Saran wrap. Nothing protects food better.
Attention, shredded wheat eaters. You've been missing something. Taste, but no more. Kellogg's Squares brings you that superlative shredded wheat nutrition with no salt, no fat, no cholesterol. But wait, Kellogg's Squares gives you free in every bite. Taste. Sweet, delectable fruit in the middle. You might never eat plain old shredded wheat again. Kellogg's Squares. Shredded wheat with taste. Free in every bite. And speaking of taste, now Squares have 35% more raisin. Great taste. Free.
A few words on the performing arts. But action speaks louder than words. Ford Probe GT, a performance you won't forget.
See your dealer now for low financing or special savings during the official Ford clearance.
Sunday, a snowy rescue attempt.
I don't think you should be considering breathing just now.
Stands to ice MacGyver.
Go!
Then, from the producers of Hunter comes Thunderbolt Row.
You need $20,000? Maybe I can help you. I'm not a drug lord.
The world premiere of Thunderbolt Row. MacGyver followed by Thunderbolt Row Sunday.
On 2020 with Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. Emergency rooms so packed with crack victims, your emergency may have to wait. Plus, Barbara Walters visits Phyllis of the McGuire sisters and asks where she got her incredible fortune. Watch 2020 Friday.
There have been some interesting developments over the past week in the trial of evangelist Jim Bakker in Charlotte, North Carolina. Last week, Bakker suffered what a government psychiatrist calls a panic attack. For a few days couldn't continue. But now the trial is resumed. We had hoped to talk to Tammy Faye Bakker, his wife, this evening, but just a few minutes before airtime, she called in, said she had the flu. And again, we hope she recovers. Judd Rose, however, is down in Charlotte. He's looked over the case, and here is his report.
How you feeling, Jim?
If it wasn't exactly the stuff of miracles, it was certainly a sight to behold. There he was at the courthouse in Charlotte this morning, hair in place, smile on his face, wife by his side. Jim Bakker was resurrected.
You're gonna be all right, Jimmy. No sweat, man.
Jim Bakker is a very, very emotional man. He's not a reasoning man. He's not a man who thinks in an analytical way. He feels, and his world is a feeling world.
And it was just a week ago that his world seemed to be in complete collapse. He'd appeared to crack up, weeping uncontrollably, hallucinating. Among those watching on TV as he was led off to a mental hospital was Bakker's wife, the wet-eyed Tammy Faye.
And they dragged him out. They paraded him across the yard in shackles, sobbing and crying with his hair all messed up. And he asked if they would put his jacket over his arms, and so that people couldn't see that he was all shackled. And they drug him into a car, half alive.
The psychiatrist said he was just overwrought, not crazy, so Bakker's trial resumed, a trial that began in a predictably circus-like atmosphere, a trial in which one witness had collapsed on the stand and had to be removed on a stretcher, a trial in which the defendant's wife was on TV asking for divine intervention against the judge.
And I want you to pray that if he is not going to be a fair man, and if he is going to continue to be biased, that God will remove him from this case.
All that, and the trial has barely begun. 2.5 years of this sordid soap opera has almost obscured exactly why Bakker's on trial in the first place. He's charged with 24 counts of fraud and conspiracy, but beyond that is a morality play neatly summed up by the prosecutor. This, he said, is the trial of a man who began by loving people and using things, and ended loving things and using people.
Specifically, the people who paid $1,000 to buy partnerships in his PTL ministry. In return, they were supposed to get a lifetime of free lodging for 3 nights a year at his South Carolina theme park, Heritage USA. That was good enough for PTL fans like Lamar Kerstetter, a retired coal miner with black lung disease. He testified today about the hard-earned money he sent in.
I figured I was taken. I mean, I don't care if you cheat me honestly, but don't cheat me like that was pulled, because that's false advertisement.
Indeed, prosecutors say Baker's pitch was a massive fraud, that he knowingly oversold the partnerships, and then when the money started to flow in, diverted nearly $4 million of it to live a life that was the answer to a millionaire's prayers.
They say the only difference between men and boys is the price of their toys.
Toys like a fleet of luxury cars and a string of fancy homes from Palm Springs, California to Tega Cay, South Carolina, to a Heritage USA penthouse sporting gold-plated bathroom fixtures, not to mention an air-conditioned doghouse for the family pet, auctioned off after the ministry went bankrupt.
$500 bill now is $800.
Was it extravagance or ignorance? Baker's defense will portray him as out of touch with the financial misdeeds of his ministry. The real villains, they claim, are Baker's former PTL deputies, Richard Dortch and David Taggart, who have made a deal with the government and are testifying against him.
Here are my dear friends, Jim and Tammy.
Amazingly, amid all this, the Baker's TV ministry has been born again, although it's in sad shape. As recently as 1987, PTL was beamed to more than 1,700 stations, not counting cable. The new show, done from a shabby shopping mall in Orlando, Florida, has less than a dozen or so outlets. But it hasn't changed completely. It still has Tearful Tammy.
I still believe. I'm not going to give up, because I believe we're on the brink of a miracle.
They'd better be. If convicted of all the charges, Baker could get 120 years in prison and more than $5 million in fines. And with some of the most potentially damaging testimony yet to come, Jim Baker's breathtaking fall from grace may well end behind bars.
Judd Rose. And on that television show that Tammy Faye Baker is doing, she's still asking for money.
That's right. You know, I have a lot of human sympathy, and particularly for the sight of a crumpled Jim Baker the other day. But
You're a softie.
Well, I'm a bit of a softie, but that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it too uncharitable of me to suspect that somehow they're not really broke, and that they still have got a lot squirreled away
That's
someplace?
the reporter in you, Diane. It's not uncharitable at all. Let me tell you how they live. Judd told you some of it. In 1985, Tammy Faye got a $100,000 bonus, and her husband got $220,000. They flew close to California one year in a jet which they rented for $100,000. They owned 2 Rolls Royces and 4 Mercedeses. I mean, they lived high on the hog.
I think I'm right. I think I can afford to be a little cynical about this one. All right, a program note before we leave. We're going to be back on Sunday night for a change. We have a special report about this week of examination of policy on drug abuse. We'll be asking the final question and looking back at the week. So we hope to see you then. I'm Diane Sawyer.
And tomorrow night, we hope you'll watch 2020 when Barbara Walters shows us a remarkable lifestyle of Phyllis McGuire. And of course, we'll be back here and invite you to be back with us next Thursday night at this same time for another edition of Primetime Live.
Primetime Live, brought to you by General Foods Corporation. Satisfying your family is what we're all about.
General Foods International Coffees introduces the Variety Sampler.
Do I try Cafe Vienna and then Swiss Mocha? Or start with Cafe Francais?
Such delicious confusion.
It's double Dutch chocolate, I think.
What does Cafe Vienna taste like? General Foods International Coffees.
Celebrate the moments of your life.
At Lexus, we didn't just suppress the engine noise. We suppressed the gear noise, the exhaust noise, the wind noise. And all that was left was the perfect environment for you to create a little noise of your own. Introducing the Lexus LS 400 luxury sedan. the result of our pursuit of perfection.
I'd like 612 crust sandwiches. That's 500 egg and sausage, 1,214 bacon double cheeseburgers.
Any fries?
Why not?
Why not? Okay, that's 900 Whoppers.
1,000 double cheeseburgers. Hold the cheese.
Every day, Burger King has a different sandwich for 99 cents. At prices like these, you can afford to feed an army.
Which one of these has the pickles?
Pickles?
Burger King 99-cent daily specials. There's no better way to serve your country.
Tomorrow, reaction to the USS Iowa investigation. Also, Christine Lottie from the Heidi Chronicles. And from Sesame Street, Big Bird on Good Morning America tomorrow.
I'm Frank Gifford. Join us with the New York Giants head into Washington to take on the Redskins as we kick off our 20th anniversary season of ABC's Monday Night Football.
For transcript, send $4 to 267 Broadway, New York, New York, 10007.
This has been a presentation of ABC News, where more Americans get their news than from any other source.
This is ABC.
Hello, I'm Marla Weech. And I'm Barbara West. Ahead tonight, some hostile residents give the Orange County Commission a good going over tonight on the issue of, you guessed it, taxes. Also, supporters of the St. Cloud Water Tower Cross have crosswords for anyone who would change it in any way. And a man who provides a safety net for people falling into the pit of despair, he's someone you can count on tonight. All that ahead on Channel 9.
Here you are, sir. Thanks a lot. These guys are buying my lunch today.
Again?
Right now, with any Subway purchase, you'll receive the Channel 9 Sports Trivia Calendar. 15 months of trivia facts, the Orlando Magic schedule, and valuable Subway coupons.
Hey, Pat, we got a great trivia question for you.
Yeah. When's the last time you bought lunch, Pat?
Get your Channel 9 Sports Calendar free with any purchase at participating Subway shops.
Ain't it delightful? Sugar so lightful.
Introducing new Sugar Delight with real cane sugar and half the calories.
Every beautiful biteful. Oh, ain't it delightful?
Now you can enjoy all the taste of sugar without all the calories. New Sugar Delight.
Oh, ain't it delightful?
All the taste, half the calories.
Sugar so lightful.
Ron Howard, director of Splash, Willow, and Cocoon, brings you Parenthood.
I think it's the best movie he's ever done.
Newsweek calls it touching. You laugh. Then you find you have a lump in your throat.
Intelligent, funny.
The film was about life.
Life is messy.
I hate messy. It's so messy.
Steve Martin, Parenthood.
It was fantastic.
Now you've got me excited.
Rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
WFTV Orlando. Now, from Central Florida's news leader, Marla Weech, Barbara West, Danny Trainor's weather, and Pat Clark on sports. This is Eyewitness News Tonight.
Hello, our top story tonight, a large tax increase brought out an angry crowd to confront the Orange County Commission tonight. Commissioners expected a less than friendly reception, but at times the crowd was downright hostile. Well, did they succeed in cutting off the tax increase? Ross Cavett is at the County Administration Building with the answer. Ross.
Well, Barbara, when you mention those two words, tax increase, homeowners tend to get a little feisty, and that's what happened here this evening. Property owners telling county commissioners since their land values have been going up so much, they can't afford to have a tax increase on top of that. County commissioners say someone has to pay for the rapid growth here in Orange County. The taxpayers showed us tonight they were not ready to give up without a fight. Hundreds of angry residents crowded into the commission chambers, spilling out into the hallways. Many carried signs saying, "Axe the tax." The county's new budget raises property taxes 17%. That's between $35 and $50 a year for an average homeowner. Commissioners say they need the money to build more roads, hire deputies and firefighters, in all some 400 new county employees. The public hearing crowd at times attacked commissioners personally, promising a voters' revolt if the taxes were approved.
Now, if you want to stay up there in them chairs, we're not threatening you. We're telling it to you like it is. Either get yourself together and get your acting together, or we're going to vote you out of them chairs. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
I think we need some kind of taxpayers organization. And our theme for 90 should be re-elect nobody.
The tax at times was decried as a fatal blow to the elderly, families, and low-income minorities.
Many of your budget items are luxuries and not necessities. You better be prepared to increase funding for the homeless, because if your budget passes, there will be more homeless on the streets of Orange County.
But commissioners said the rapid growth here demands more services, so despite the call to axe the tax, they passed the tax. They did indeed by a 4-to-1 vote. Commissioners Chapin, Carter, Marston, and Donegan all voting for the tax increase. Commission Chairman Dorman voting against it. There will be another public hearing on this next Thursday. That is required by state law. Commissioners don't expect many people to attend. Their minds are already made up. They say they're doing it because it's state law. So property owners here in Orange County should expect a rather large increase in their next tax bills. Barbara, Marla?
Boy, those folks certainly didn't mince words, and yet they passed the tax increase.
Well, it was just simply a matter of priorities, according to the 4 who voted for the tax increase. They said growth is making them do something. If you want to have a safe county with police, a responsible county with fire and ambulance protection, they had to pass the tax, and that they did.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting come election time around here.
Thank you, Ross.
Thanks, Ross. Supporters of the St. Cloud Water Tower cross went before the City Commission tonight, protesting a recent federal judge's order regarding that cross. The group dislikes his suggestion of changing the cross by putting an X in the middle of it. He suggested it might make the cross a little less objectionable to ACLU members who filed a lawsuit to have it removed completely. But the folks tonight don't want that cross changed at all.
And next on their agenda is to remove Saint from St. Cloud. And this is not fiction, folks. This is fact. This is on their agenda, not particularly in our city first, but they are doing this in other cities.
Tonight, St. Cloud city officials listened and said they would try to come up with a design that would please both the people and the judge. The city has several more weeks to comply with the judge's order. In the meantime, supporters are planning an idea session Saturday morning at 9 o'clock at the Water Tower. Residents on Chickey Court in Lake Mary will have to live with the name of their street for a little while longer. Tonight, the Lake Mary City Commission voted unanimously to reject their request to rename Chickey Court to Lake Dawson Court. Homeowners wanted to change the name because it seemed to draw a lot of snickers, but commissioners said no because Lake Mary's 911 system is already programmed for Chickey Court. However, homeowners will have a chance to change the street's name in the future. That's after every lot on Chickey Court has a house built on it.
In North Carolina, as the trial of former PTL leader Jim Baker continued today, his wife Tammy leveled salvos at the Justice Department. The two arrived arm in arm with their attorney, but minutes after the trial began, Tammy came outside to talk to reporters. She asked the public to complain to the Justice Department about the treatment of her husband.
I feel he was put there to try to break him down and break down his will to fight this court case and this trial. I cannot believe that the government of the United States would allow a judge to do something like this. I'm urging people to call the Justice Department because the next person that's treated this way could be your husband or your minister or someone that you loved.
A spokesman at the Justice Department says it did get thousands of calls today. In fact, they had to bring in 5 operators to handle them all.
The United States Senate has taken action on President Bush's $8 billion anti-drug blueprint. That story leads off our look at the world tonight.
By a vote of 83-8, lawmakers approved shifting $45 million used for congressional mailings to a drug treatment program. The program will help drug-addicted mothers and their babies. One senator, Republican Ted Stevens of Alaska, strenuously objected, saying his constituents rely on congressional mailings for news. An accused money launderer for the Medellin cocaine cartel arrived in Atlanta today under heavy security. Eduardo Martinez Romero was extradited from Colombia despite threats from the cartels that 10 Colombian officials would be killed for every person extradited. And finally, the United States Navy released its long-awaited report today on the explosion aboard the USS Iowa last April. The Navy says the blast was caused by gunner's mate Clayton Hartwig. The report says Hartwig loaded some sort of device into the gun barrel, causing the explosion. 47 sailors were killed.
The Hartwig family doesn't believe the sailor is to blame. They want a congressional investigation into the Navy's probe of the incident. The Navy acknowledges the report's conclusions are based on circumstantial evidence.
And up next, being out of a job is really hard work at this place.
And we'll tell you why next on People You Can Count On.
Most people will never have the opportunity to see a baby killer whale. But due to a very recent development at SeaWorld in Orlando, you can now see two. Visit baby Namu, just born July 11th, and 9-month-old baby Shamu when you take the 1989 baby stroll. Only at SeaWorld.
I'm Artie Grindle. Tropic Traveler Vans is my business. When you buy your luxury van from me, you can be sure you're getting the best quality luxury van at the best price. Get it the way you want it, including color TV, video cassette player, dynamite stereo, comfort seating, and more. I have acres of land covered with vans, hundreds in stock. Come drive one. You'll love it. Artie Grindle's Tropic Traveler Vans, Highway 436, Winter Park. I want to sell you a van. Don't forget, yours comes with a roof.
Cruise.
Fun.
Wet.
Wet and wild. We've got the thrills.
In a small Kentucky community, some people are growing more than bluegrass.
The economy of this county at this point in time is dependent upon the production of marijuana.
With police burning this new cash crop, could the town go up in smoke? Find out on Inside Edition.
Tonight at 11:30.
Cash 3, Fantasy 5, and Lotto. The drawings are all live on Channel 9, your station for the Florida Lottery.
There's controversy tonight surrounding the Care Unit Center in Lake Mary. Two former nurses at the psychiatric hospital are filing suit in circuit court, alleging that they were targeted for retaliation because they were critical of some of the procedures there. The two say they saw repeated instances of patients being overdosed on Valium and Librium during 1988 and were pressured out of the Care Unit operation when they tried to stop it. Care Unit's newest administrator says no such practices have taken place since he's been there.
People who are just looking for a handout don't hang around a place called the Anthony House for the Homeless very long. That's because Herb Agaransons expects too much of them. They have to get a job and allow Anthony House to hold back part of their paycheck until they've saved enough to get a real apartment. Tonight on People You Can Count On, meet this man who helps the homeless back on their feet.